Welcome back to Views with Hughes, Agenda for News. This is Jerome Hughes. Now, let's go ahead and get right into it. So, Asmongold has been recently making waves, and for good reason. See, Asmongold has been vocal about the ongoing battle between Hollywood and its fans. And let me tell you, Asmongold is not wrong. Now, we're seeing a shift in this. Asmongold pointed out in a recent video that it's becoming more obvious that by the day that we, the fans, are winning, that this culture war itself. And if there's any more proof needed, then just look at this recent story that's got Asmongold and everyone buzzing, okay? Now, Asmongold, like, he's actually one of the biggest names in the online world, especially when it comes to streaming and gaming. And he reacted to a report that admitted what many of us have all known all along, that Hollywood executives are battling their own fans. That's right. And Asmongold didn't hold back in his response. Now, these Hollywood big shots have finally admitted that they're in a fight with the very people that they expect to buy their tickets, sign up for their streaming services, and buy their merchandise as well. And you know what? Asmongold is right. You know, we're winning this battle, and, you know, Hollywood is finally starting to feel it. So here's Asmongold breaking it down now and about how we're winning.
Studios, oh right. Oh boy, here we go. Studios are assembling superfan focus groups to assess various materials for franchise projects to avoid social media backlash. They will just tell us, if you do that, fans are going to retaliate. If it's early enough and the movie isn't finished yet, we can make those kinds of changes. Yes. And so this is an article written, toxic fandoms have grown so powerful that while talent, executives, and publicists privately bemoan the issue, fear of triggering another backlash kept several studios from speaking for this story. We started experiencing a rampage of what I would say hyper-conservative bigotry. In other words, the Acolyte was the latest high-profile target of toxic fandom. It comes with the territory, but it's gotten incredibly loud in the last couple of years, said a veteran marketing executive at a major studio. People are just out for blood regardless. They think the purity of the first version will never be replaced, or you've done something to upset the canon of a beloved franchise and they're going to take you down for doing so. That's exactly right. I'm glad they understand. So the problem is that the fan base wants you to maintain what the original story was and not change the story. And this is about a toxic fan base. Toxic fandoms have grown so pernicious that they've become a fact of life for many, and so powerful that while talent, executive, and publicists will privately bemoan the issue, fear of inadvertently triggering another backlash kept several studios from speaking for this story, even in the background. I think this is a good thing. Wow, we're trying to put this agenda that we want to have in like this show, the fans don't like it, now the fans are the problem? No, you're the problem for trying to force it into the show. You either meet the audience expectations or you die. They'll just tell us if you do that, the fans are going to retaliate. This is a good decision. You know what this shows? It shows that we're winning. You don't get to morally obligate an audience to buy your product. That's not how the world works. Nobody has to do that. I'll give you an example that's not a politically charged example, which is the Sonic movie. The first Sonic movie trailer was so fucking bad that everybody on the internet hated it. And then you know what they did? They went back to the drawing board and they fixed it and they made it the way that people wanted. And now they're making Sonic 3 with Keanu Reeves' shadow. What these companies and these writers believe is that they have some sort of moral authority to write these stories and then have everybody like them. And if you don't like them, you are seen as the problem. It doesn't matter whether you think that it should be this way or not. If the companies are making products and people don't like them, then they're not going to sell. And that's it. That's the bottom line, literally. Nothing else matters.
And he was definitely spot on with that. Now, Asmongold is spot on with his commentary in an article that was published in Variety, as he showed you, by Adam B. Very, titled Toxic Fandom, How Hollywood is Battling Fans Who Are Just Out for Blood, from social media boot camps to superfan focus groups. Now, that's an interesting title right now. Hollywood is realizing that they've got a real problem on their hands because, as Asmongold has been saying for a while now, myself included too, the fans aren't happy. But instead of listening to these elites, these elites are doubling down, calling fans toxic and accusing us of being out for blood. But Asmongold had the perfect response for this. Now, in the article itself, an unnamed marketing executive had the audacity to say it comes with the territory, but it's gotten incredibly loud in the past couple of years. Now, people are just out for blood, as they claim. Regardless, they think that the purity of the first version will be never be replaced, or you've done something to upset the canon of a beloved franchise. And you know what? They're going to take you down for doing so. Now, Asmongold wasted no time in responding to this, and his reaction was actually spot on. Now, Asmongold said that that's exactly right, and I'm glad they understand. Now, Asmongold gets it. And he understands that the fans, the people who love these franchises and spend their hard-earned money on even buying them. And Asmongold stated that they're not going to sit while Hollywood tears apart the things that we all love. Now, Asmongold also went further, saying the problem is that the fan base wants you to maintain what the original story was and not change the story. Now, once again, Asmongold nailed it. Is it really hard for them to understand? Now, fans have been invested years, sometimes even decades into these stories. And when Hollywood, comes along and starts, rewriting canon or shoving their agendas into our faces, people like Asmongold are going to call it out. And it's not about being toxic. It's about protecting the stories that we love. And Asmongold is here to make sure that the message is heard loud and clear. Okay, even if they don't like it. But next, Asmongold also reacted to another part of the article where where people claim that so-called toxic fandoms have become so powerful that the studio is scared to even discuss them. Now, the very wrote like that toxic fandoms have grown pernicious that they become a fact of life for so many and so powerful, while talent executives and publicists will privately bemoan the issue of and fear the inadvertently triggering one another. Backlash kept several studios from speaking for the story, even on background. Asmongold jumped right on this, saying that I think this is a good thing. Now, we're trying to put this agenda that we want to have in this, in like this show, and the fans don't like it. Now, the fans are the problem? Nah, you're the problem for trying to force it into the show. And once again, Asmongold hit the nail on the head. Hollywood has been trying to push their agendas into every piece of content, and when the fans push back, suddenly it's the fans who are the problem? Absolutely not. See, Asmongold is right. The Hollywood is a problem. Now, they've been ignoring the feedback for years now, and they're starting to feel the consequences, as Asmongold put it perfectly. You either meet the audience expectations or you simply die. And that's how the entertainment industry works. And Asmongold understands this, and he's not afraid to say what needs to be said. Okay, and quite frankly, there's a lot of people out there, but Asmongold then reacted to another point made in the article where a studio executive talked about how they're now hiring superfans to screen projects before they even release. Now, various sources explain they're very vocal. They will just tell us, if you do that, the fans are going to retaliate. Asmongold had the perfect response to this, saying that, this is a good decision, and what this shows, it shows that we're winning. Okay, you just don't get to morally obligate an audience to buy your product. That's not how the world works. You see, nobody has to do that. And once again, Asmongold is absolutely right. Hollywood doesn't get to tell us what we should or expect us to buy whatever they put out. Now, if we don't like it, we won't support it. And Asmongold knows this all too well, just like I do too. But to drive this point home, you see, Asmongold brought up a perfect example of how fan pressure can actually lead to better results. He brought up the example of the first Sonic the Hedgehog movie trailer, where that was a disaster and the character design was so bad that the fans across the internet lost their minds. And Asmongold pointed out that instead of just ignoring the fans, the studio actually listened, and they went back to the drawing board, fixed the character design, and released a movie that fans love, to the point where they not only broke even but made more money back. But now they're working on Sonic 3, and as Asmongold mentioned, they've been bringing in Keanu Reeves to play Shadow. And that's how it's done, people. And Asmongold was right to highlight this as a victory for fans everywhere. All right, and rightfully so. But Asmongold wasn't done. You see, Asmongold also wrapped up the thoughts with a powerful conclusion that drives home to the point that we've all been thinking, all been feeling. And Asmongold said what these companies and these writers believe is that they have some sort of moral authority to write these stories and then have everybody like them. And if you don't like them, then you're are basically seeing that's the problem. And that's exactly what's happening here. And Asmongold is absolutely right when it comes down to that. You see, Hollywood thinks that, they can push their narratives, their agendas, and beloved franchises. And if we don't like it, then we're labeled as toxic. But Asmongold is pointing out that that's not how, it works. If the companies are making products and stuff and people don't like them, then they're not going to sell at all. And that's it. That's the bottom line, literally. And nothing else matters. And in the end, Asmongold is 100% right about all this. You see, Hollywood is in serious trouble, as you all know, because they've forgotten who their audience is. People like Asmongold and the fans who care about these stories aren't going to sit quietly while these big studios ruin what we love. And you know what? That's why Asmongold and others like him is such an important voice in this conversation, where he's calling out what needs to be called out and standing up for the fans who are tired of being ignored. Okay. And I'm one of those fans. I want to stand up for other fans who are tired of being ignored too. But Asmongold knows what we all know. Hollywood needs to start listening to the fans. If they want to survive, then guess what? They need to remember who made these franchises successful in the first place. And as Asmongold has been, saying, the power is shifting. Fans are taking control, and Hollywood better start going ahead and paying attention, because if they don't, well, as Asmongold said, nothing else matters. So let me know your thoughts about this in the comments below. Also, be sure to include any additional thoughts you might have this particular topic. If you find this video and what was said in this video be really encouraging, go ahead, smash the like button, share this video far and wide across social media. And if you haven't done so already, you enjoyed all the content that I put out there, go ahead, subscribe to the channel, click the bell notification so that way you'll be notified of future uploads and updates. Till then, peace.